What it do, what it do? How y'all feeling? Welcome to Ash Neil's Radio. I am your host, Ash Neil. That is I. So, we talking to y'all. Yes. Now, before Trump was elected, a lot of people who were anti-Trump, they were saying things like, nah, we can't elect a fascist. No, we can't elect Hitler. And then, of course, Trump supporters, they would say things like, he's not a fascist. What are you talking about? That's hyperbole. Disrespectful. Well, lately we've been having a lot of civil unrest brought on by the president. And a number of things from kicking people off of their jobs, healthcare. Doge had literally stolen employment from millions of Americans. He rallied against the Haitians that were out here on temporary protected status earlier this year. He waged a war against the Venezuelans, got them out of here. And now he has this ICE raid of all the illegal Hispanics out here. And at first, they like to say during the campaign, this is what he campaigned on. Everybody that voted for him voted for this. Bullshit. So they said that, during the campaign, he said he was going to get all violent criminals out. All the violent ones. And I don't know too many people that disagree with that, right? I have my opinions, but whatever. If you want to get violent criminals out, I mean, I thought they were already being deported, but that's neither here nor there. What's crazy to me is they went from criminals to this quota that Stephen Miller had to meet. And Stephen Miller said it clear as day that, hey, we need to deport more people. So stop going to just these courthouses. Don't just find these criminals. Go to like Home Depot, some shit like that. Kids were graduating. Go to graduations and see if some of the Hispanic kids have illegal parents. So yeah, this war against Hispanics is getting crazy. Now there's if you've been living under a rock, you wouldn't know, but we have a lot of raids and a lot of protests going on the streets, starting in Los Angeles. Well, these raids are getting out of hand, and the community knows it. So the community stood up, and they are not allowing this shit to happen on their watch. So what's been happening is a lot of pushback on ICE, to the point where ICE was getting their ass whooped. And Donald Trump had to, deploy the National Guard. Yes. So after deploying the National Guards, more shit just, went crazy on the streets of LA. And I guess today, Kristi Noem wanted to explain the situation on the ground. And that situation is that basically they are going to continue to do these raids. And they do not care what Gavin Newsom, Karen Bass, or anybody, any representative in that state says, including Alex Padilla. So during this press conference, Alex Padilla decided to ask Kristi Noem a question. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is when all hell broke loose. Crazy situation. Hold on.
As our law enforcement officers have been assaulted, they've been pelted with rocks and bricks. Their cars have been set on fire. Molotov cocktails have been used. We have seen people throw bottles and hammers at them. We've also seen that they have been attacked and verbally spit on or punched or assaulted.
Hold on.
and it's just not acceptable. The Department of Homeland Security
What is verbally
and the
spit
office.
on? Hold on, sorry about that. What the hell is verbally spit on? That's what she said, right? Am I tripping? I think that's what she said.
Officers and the agencies and the have been attacked and verbally spit on or punched or
did say
assaulted, and it's just not acceptable. The Department of Homeland Security and the officers and the agencies and the departments and the military people that are working on this operation will continue to sustain and increase our operations in this city. We are not going away. We are staying here to liberate this city from the socialist and the burdensome leadership that this governor and that this mayor have placed on this country, and what they have.
Nope, sorry. Think about what she said. We are here to liberate from this socialist governor. Like, listen to how these people think. So when we called Trump a fascist and said that, oh, no, he's going to have a fascist fucking administration, who is she to call the governor and all the leadership in California socialists and say that they are there to eradicate it? This is crazy. This is like the state versus the Fed. How is that not fascism? Fuck.
Have tried to insert into this city. So I want to say thank you to every single person that has been able to do this. Also, I want to talk specifically to the rioters and to the politicians in Los Angeles.
A half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your.
I also want to talk about specifically how many of our ICE agents have been doxxed for doing their duty, how they have been targeted, and how their families have been put in jeopardy.
Think about that. Think about what just happened. He was there to basically ask questions, and immediately they snatched him up. And you heard what they were saying. Oh, put your hands up, put your hands up. Like as if he was a threat. And he had to clear it up, like, bro, whoa, calm down. I'm a senator. What are you doing? I'm Alex Padilla. What are you doing? They didn't care. They don't care. And then she just continues with this old bullshit. Our ICE agents have been doxxed. So? That's y'all tool of getting back at people. Y'all always want to dox other people. What are you saying? Like, are you mad that you seen the footage of all those people outside the Hilton where ICE was sleeping at? They're trying to rest, get a good night rest, so they can go and harass people the next day. Are you mad that that location was put on the internet? Like, the fuck are you talking about? Are you really gonna have him arrested like that? It's just crazy. You should hear some of the tape.
And that we're not going to allow that anymore as well. That those individuals who are purposely endangering our ICE agents and our law enforcement officers and their families will be prosecuted for what they are doing.
Hold on. Think about that. Look, this is another angle. Think about this.
Sir, hands up. I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the secretary, because the fact of the matter is,
you can wait.
Half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your.
I also want to
hands off.
Right?
How many of our ICE agents have been doxxed?
It's crazy.
On the ground.
Still on the ground.
Hands behind your back.
What? Hands behind my back.
Back.
Like, look at this.
Look at my hands. Go ahead. Put behind my back.
All right. Cool. Other hand. Lay flat.
Hey,
Flat.
I guarantee you they're having a more exciting time doing this shit. Because his last name is Padilla. I guarantee you, they love it. Look at these three white men putting down this Hispanic They don't care. They don't even know right now that he's a representative. They're like, put your hands up. They thought he was a threat. Even Kristi Noem said, oh, I wish he would have coordinated with our offices earlier so we could have known that he was coming over here. Nah. You seen a brown dude asking questions, and your officers and that one black dude decide to snatch him up. Nope, shut up. Can't fool me.
Other hand, sir. Other hand.
There's no recording allowed out here.
No recording allowed out here.
I did not know. There's no recording allowed out here per FBI, right?
Yeah.
There's no recording allowed out here.
He kicking him out.
That's my boss. I have to record everything allowed out here.
You don't want us to see what's going on, nigga?
I'm not. There's no recording allowed.
I ain't pressed. Hold on. There's another one. Hold on. Now, pay attention to the way Fox want to spin this whole story. Now, remember, this is a United States senator for the state of California. This is his state. Look at how they want to try to spin this shit as if it was some random guy harassing Kristi Noem. It's crazy.
Protests are expected to continue into the weekend with the federal government planning to stage more immigration raids.
Cities all across the country are dealing with unrest. Fox's Connor Hansen has more.
Los Angeles has been the epicenter of anti-ICE protests for nearly an entire week. Protesters still clashing with police and the National Guard. On Thursday, California's Senator Alex Padilla was forcibly removed after confronting Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, who came to L.A. to say immigration raids must go on.
This man burst into the room, started lunging towards the podium, interrupting me.
If this is how...
Hold on. He started lunging towards the podium. That's what she said. That's what she said.
The Department of Homeland Security responds to a senator with a question, you can only imagine what they're doing
Was that mine?
to farm workers, to
Hold on 1
cooks.
second. Think about that. Think about what she said. He was lunging towards the podium. This guy, this random guy, she didn't know who he was. Just building this narrative that he had to be restrained. It's just crazy.
We're told Noem did sit down later with Padilla, but it comes as the Trump administration faces criticism for casting a wider net in its immigration enforcement, going beyond just dangerous criminals. The president signaled they would ease up on hotel and farm workers.
They're going to ease up on hotel and farm work. I know we've been tripping. I know we've been snatching everybody up like this blanket deportation, but my blankets in my hotels ain't getting clean. The goal, bro. Wait, what? Wait a minute. You about to ease up on the hotel and farm workers? Like you know you've been fucking up. You know you've been disproportionately just locking up everybody, not just criminals. And now you're like, shit. My hotel suffering. What? Let me hear. Hold on. I want to hear what Trump had to say.
Our farmers are being hurt badly by, they have very good workers.
Across the country in cities like New York.
Exactly. Our farmers are being hurt. How? Oh, they had good workers. Oh. Who hurt their farmers? Who hurt our farmers? That was you. You the one that pulled their workers away. And now you don't care about the American citizens that don't want to spend extra 25-30% on grapes. You don't care about the migrant, the immigrant that's working 13-14 hours a day, getting pennies on an hour, just so they can support their family. No, you don't care about none of that. All you care about is the fact that the farmer can't find nobody. Come on, man. How are you not racist, bro?
Tense moments led to several arrests. Early in the morning, 8 police cars were torched in a Brooklyn parking lot. Thursday, the Trump administration and the state of California California argued in court over the decision to send in troops.
I fundamentally believe that you don't need the Marines there to...
Hold on. What is
Trump
this?
administration and the state of California argued in court over the decision to send in troops.
Yo, look at that. Hold on. This is Fox.
I fundamentally believe that you...
Look at Fox.
In a Brooklyn parking lot. Thursday, the Trump administration and the...
Okay. A lot of us, we've been following these protests. We seen what's been going on. When in this battle, these ICE protests, or even the riots that went crazy, when have you seen military go against military? Granted, I couldn't catch all the videos, so I might have missed this video. But Fox News is trying to tell us that there's so much civil unrest going on in California that even the Marines is fighting with National Guard. What? Hold on, I gotta see this video. Hold on, one more time.
State of California argued in...
Let me rewind it. I want to hear what context he's putting into
arrests.
this.
Early in the morning, 8 police cars were torched in a Brooklyn parking lot. Thursday, the Trump administration and the state of California argued in court over the decision to send in troops.
I fundamentally believe that you don't need...
That looked like a training exercise. But you're Fox, this is what you're doing, Fox. What you're not realizing is that the community isn't stupid. We're not stupid. You mean to tell me all that footage, all these TikTok fucking journalists that was out there with their feet on the streets. We got a lot of people on the streets. You couldn't find one video of the civilians acting aggressive towards the police officers? You couldn't find one video of the community fighting back ICE agents? Not one. You had to show a fake ass manufactured, doctored up training video that shows people in fatigues pushing people with riot gear? You guys are sick. That's how bad you want to divide the country? Look at what's going on with this immigrant protest. The military is going at it. This is disgusting. What the fuck is going on with you guys? This is disgusting. And Alex Padilla actually had something to say about it because y'all had him
Democratic
fucked
Senator
up.
Alex Padilla joins me
y'all
now.
Had him fucked up.
Senator Padilla, thank you for your time. Evaluate what has happened in Los Angeles the last couple of days and what your reaction is to California's lawsuit against the president and the underlying illegality or legality of federalizing the National Guard.
Yeah, well, thank you, Major. Great to be with you. And I'm glad Elise just emphasized in that prior segment so much the peaceful nature of the protest, because as I've been talking to community leaders and organizers, as well as the mayor, the governor, the police chief, the sheriff, that's everybody's assessment. By day, these are largely peaceful protests. The folks that show up after dark and are involved with the looting and the vandalism, which has no place, it's wrong, and we denounce that, is a very different group of people. So it's important to distinguish what's going on here. Look, I think it's important to have your viewers understand that to the extent that this has been a crisis in the Los Angeles area, it's a crisis of Donald Trump's making. The increasingly aggressive and cruel tactics of the immigration enforcement is what's prompting the response of people who are passionate about speaking up for our fundamental rights and due process. Because the enforcement operations have gone far beyond just the violent criminals or the dangerous criminals that Donald Trump has promised. It's raking in people who are otherwise innocent, hardworking women and men, children. When federal agents are showing up at elementary schools, that tells you something different when a 4-year-old in the Central Valley who's depending on life-saving treatment is told to self-deport or else. Thankfully, in that particular case, that notification was withdrawn, but only because of the immense public backlash against that type of cruel immigration enforcement. Now, the president has set the stage by raising the tensions with these aggressive tactics and will take any small opening or manufacture an opening to further escalate. The National Guard, to your point, is not only not necessary here, it's counterproductive. Their presence is what's causing people to feel a little bit more on edge. As things have been quieting down a little bit more each day, now he's countering that not with a de-escalation, but now potentially sending the Marines. Donald Trump is escalating the situation. I'm glad the Attorney General and other partners across the country have filed lawsuit because we don't think there's a proper justification for the federalization and deployment of the National Guard. Local law enforcement is capable of handling this. Los Angeles has seen many protests, demonstrations, rallies, marches, etc. over the years. I trust them to handle it again.
Senator, I want to play for you sound from the president today in the Oval Office. Let's listen.
If there's an insurrection, I would certainly invoke it. We'll see. But I can tell you last night was terrible. The night before that was terrible.
So the president has invoked the word insurrection or insurrectionist many times, and he kind of dials it back. That's a very particular word with a very particular legal meaning. And if it is true, invest any president with expansive powers. Evaluate the use of that rhetoric, Senator.
Yeah, look, it's the epitome of hypocrisy. Where was the insurrection word out of his mouth on January 6, 2021? Where was his call for National Guard to deploy on January 6, 2021? He's being very intentional with his words because he's potentially trying to set the stage for exploiting the Insurrection Act. Look, our nation is not under invasion. In the same breath, he'll take credit for the numbers being way down at the border. Right. And the fact of the matter is, when it comes to the immigrant population, not just in Los Angeles, not just in California, but throughout the country, are there some dangerous, violent criminals? Yeah, let's focus on them. Let's target them. There's no disagreement there. But by and large, we're talking about otherwise law-abiding women, men, and young people who are working hard, who are paying taxes, who are raising families and contributing to the success of communities and the country. Take California alone, right? California is not just the most populous state in the nation. It's also the most diverse state in the nation, home to more immigrants than any state in the nation. California is also the largest economy of any state in the nation, the fourth largest economy in the world, not despite our immigrant population, but because of the immigrant population and its contributions as workforce, as consumers, as entrepreneurs. And if you hear a little passion in my voice, it's because it is personal to me. Los Angeles is my home. I am the proud son of immigrants from Mexico who worked so hard, who sacrificed so much to live their American dream. That's right. What the immigrant community is fighting for.
Senator Padilla, on this program last week, Tom Homan, the president's immigration czar, said because of sanctuary city or state policies, ICE, Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement, are forced to go into the community. And if they got more cooperation, they wouldn't have to do the raids they're doing. Evaluate that statement.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, look, let's understand what sanctuary is and what sanctuary isn't. It's been longstanding policy in the city of Los Angeles and for several years now, a statewide policy in California. All the sanctuary law says is the state and local governments will not dedicate their resources to the enforcement of federal immigration law. That's the job of the federal government. That's why the Department of Homeland Security, ICE, and others are there to do their job. But how they go about it is also important. Every administration has their policies and every administration has their priorities. Look, this week we're celebrating the 13th anniversary of DACA. Remember President Obama being frustrated by the action of Congress, and he granted temporary protections for young people, childhood arrivals. 13 years later, Republicans in Congress still have yet to be willing to act. And this administration, like I said, maybe Trump promised on the campaign trail targeting violent, dangerous criminals only. If that was the case, there would be no debate, there would be no disagreement. But what they're doing is far beyond the pale.
California Democratic Senator Alex Padilla. Senator Padilla, thank you for your time. I appreciate
That's
it.
crazy, man. That is just crazy, bro. And they think we're stupid. They think we're stupid. We're supposed to sit here and be like, oh, that's just normal. Why don't you just let Trump go in your sanctuary city and deport whoever the fuck he wants to? That's how they look at it. They're like, man, what do you mean? What do we do? What's the problem? And that is what I call fascism. I mean, I don't call it fascism. That's just what fascism is. One person feels like what he says go. There's no checks and balances. There's no separation of power. Nope. 3 equal branches of government. No. Just me, Trump, by myself. Fuck you. And it's gonna get bad. I think it's gonna get real bad. This is where I think the Civil War starts. Once you show that you don't care about representatives, duly elected people, the people that the community put in office. That's what they keep saying. The community voted for Trump. Well, I think they voted for Alex Padilla as well. And when you show that you can use your powers to just arrest these people and we can't say nothing about it, all right, fair. Just don't cry wolf when they fight back. Don't cry wolf, because they said that about Gavin Newsom. It was like, oh, why don't you just arrest him? And then when people brought it up and they start criticizing the fact that Trump said something about arresting Gavin Newsom, a lot of these Trump supporters was like, oh, no, he was joking. Well, I don't know. Because if they are easily able to arrest a senator just for asking a question, then I don't see it being far-fetched. I don't see it being far-fetched for them to go and try to arrest Gavin Newsom. Just for like political points. We know that the case ain't gonna go nowhere. We know he might not spend a minute behind bars, but just for the photo op, just to say, hey, I went, I took Gavin Newsom out of his office and put handcuffs behind him and drove him away in the car, just to do it. And y'all just tell me, because there's gonna be a lot of Trump supporters like, oh, why you always calling him fascist? Y'all can't keep using the fascist word. You tell me. What is it? Because I don't see nothing else. I'm sorry. That's like something Putin would do. Let me go ahead and arrest the governor of. Is there individual states? I don't think there's individual states. I ain't never been to Russia. But yay, the people y'all criticize. This is the shit y'all would do. Y'all call that kind of shit what? Like a banana republic? Now, come on, man. But we're gonna follow it because a lot of people had a lot to say. A lot of people had. Hold on. A lot of people had. Cory Booker discussed Alex Padilla arrests. Now, Cory Booker was pissed. Cory Booker was hot. Hold on. He was like, how dare you? How dare you guys use your power? Hold on. How dare you arrest a senator for asking a question? And that's all he did. That's all he did was ask a question. And these motherfuckers lost their rabbit ass mind.
This is a farce of a justification. And therefore, we are at a crossroads. Will my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, will my Republican colleagues justify the treatment of one of the members of this body, justify the violence against one of the members of this body, justify a member of this body being thrown upon the ground and putting handcuffs for what? For disrespectful behavior. If you think it stops with one, you are inviting it for the all, because it does not. You are inviting it for every member of this body. If the Obama administration or the Biden administration said that a senator on the other side of the aisle was being disrespectful,
yep,
and threw that senator violently onto the ground and put him into handcuffs, this body would be full of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle condemning what the Biden Justice Department did or the Obama Justice Department. This should not be about partisanship. This should be about patriotism. This should not be about tribalism. It should be standing up and being a leader in this moment. This is wrong. This violence is wrong.
They know it's wrong. They know it's wrong. That's why they did it, because they know it's wrong. And they don't care. They don't care. They want to see how far they can get before somebody do or say something. And I'm sorry. It don't look like y'all getting too far.